the geology group here, we are going to present to you about the types of soil and of the rocks. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of water. It is on the third day that God created the land, the plants and animals. But today, when God created, He found everything was very good. But today, man has polluted and corrupted the land, the plants, and also the animals because of his own selfishness. But still, we have few residues of the soil left. According to science, there are 6 major classifications of soil. The 6 types goes like this: sandy soil, loamy soil, silty soil, chalky soil, peaty soil, and clayey soil. And the types of rocks goes like this: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks. So here we have brought a few samples of soil and rocks to enlighten you about how they are formed and what are their uses and what are their composition. So let us see them one by one.
மவுண்டைன் ராக், இது வந்து பாறைக்கல்னு சொல்லலாம். எரிமலை வெடித்து சிதறுவதால் இது உருவானது தான் இந்த பாறைக்கல். இது 3000 3500 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பாக தோன்றியது. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப பழமையானதுன்னு சொல்லலாம். பழமையானதுன்னா ரொம்ப உறுதியானது அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். அப்புறம் இந்த இது வந்து அதிகமாக வீடுகளை கட்டுவதற்காக பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. உதாரணமாக சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா, ஏற்காட்டில் உள்ள எல்லா பில்டிங்ஸுமே, எல்லா கட்டடங்களுமே இந்த பாறை கற்களான ஆனது தான். இது வந்து நேர்மறையான எண்ணங்களை கொடுக்கக்கூடியது. அதிகமாக ஆலயங்களுக்கு நம்ம வந்து பயன்படுத்தக்கூடியது. அதே போல் இது வந்து அதிகமாக சிற்பங்கள் செய்கிறதுக்கு இதை பயன்படுத்துவாங்க. இது வந்து மக்கள் வந்து தங்களுடைய தேவைகளுக்கு ஏற்ப பெரிய கற்களாகவும் சிறிய கற்களாகவும் சிறிய கற்களாகவும் பயன்படுத்தி தங்களோட தேவைகளுக்கு ஏற்ப இதை வந்து பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. அதுக்கடுத்து வந்து பெக்மடைட் அந்த கற்கள், இதோட சொல் வந்து ஹோமரிக் அப்படின்ற கிரேக்கத்திலிருந்து உருவானது. இது வந்து குவார்ட்ஸு, பெட்ஸ்ஃபால் மற்றும் மைக்கா ஆகியவற்றால் ஆனது மற்றும் சிலிசிக் கலவையை வந்து கொண்டுள்ளது அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. இது வந்து படிகங்கள் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். பொதுவாக 5 to 10 மீட்டர் 32 அடி நீளம் 33 அடி நீளமுள்ள படிகங்கள் வந்து நிறைய காணப்படுகிறது. தேங்க்யூ.
இந்த கல் வந்து மணற்கல் என்று அழைக்கப்படுகிறது. இதற்கு வந்து மணற்கற்பாறை அப்படிங்கிற வேறு பேர் உண்டு. கூழாங்கற்கள் அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்கிறோம். இது வந்து நீரோடை ஓடும் பொழுது அந்த இடங்கள்ல இது அதிகமாக காணப்படுது. இயேசு சொல்லியிருக்கிறாரு, உங்களுடைய அடித்தளங்களை மணல் மீது அல்ல பாறை மீது அமையுங்கள் அப்படின்ட்டு. அப்படி நம்மளுடைய அடித்தளங்களை நம்ம அமைக்கும் பொழுது நம்மளுடைய வாழ்வு வந்து சிறப்பாக இருக்கும். அப்புறம் இந்த கற்களை வந்து எதற்காக பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க அப்படின்னா, மீன் தொட்டியில போடுறதுக்கு பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. அப்புறம் டெம்பிள் கட்டுறதுக்கு பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. கெபி கட்டுற அந்த இடங்கள்ல பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. கலைப்பொருட்கள் செய்வதற்கு, ஜாடி பொருட்கள், சிலைகளை வடிவமைப்பதற்கு இதை பயன்படுத்துகிறாங்க. தாவீது வந்து எகிப்திய அந்த அரசனை வெல்வதற்காக பயன்படுத்தப்பட்ட கல் தான் இந்த கூழாங்கல். இந்த கல்லானது பார்க்கறதுக்கு சின்ன கல்லாக இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும், மென்மையாக இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஆனால் இது பலமான வலிமையான கல். தேங்க்யூ.
I'm going to talk about this soil. It is called silt soil, and it is a dust-like sediment that water, ice, and wind transport and deposit, and it is made up of rock and mineral particles. And we see this soil mostly in the riverside and all the water bodies. Again, it is very useful for growing crops, and it is a fertile soil, and this promotes water retention and air circulation. Thank you.
This is sand soil. This is known as the poorest type of soil for agriculture and growing plants. And in this soil, mostly the root vegetable like carrot, beetroot, those are the vegetables and can be fertile in this land. It has a low capacity of taking water in, and it they have very nutritional value and poor water holding capacity. And sand soil, this is very light and warm, dry, and tend to be acidic and low nutrients. And it is also known as light soil due to their high proportion of sand and little clay. And it has low percentage of organic material, and it mainly consists of rock particles such as limestone, shale, and granites.
I'm going to explain about the loamy soil, which is composed of sand, silt, and a smaller amount of the clay. It is mostly used for the vegetative farming, and it's very good for absorbing the minerals and most of the nutrients it is able to absorb and able to give the plants. It is also used for both for construction and for farming. We can make use for the formation of the bricks, which is a mixture of the mud, sand, and loamy soil. Thank you.
I'm going to explain about this clay soil. This clay soil, it is very moist in nature, and it is useful for growing plants, and for medicinal purpose it is also used for pottery and for making ceramics. This clay soil, as soon as water falls on it, it becomes moist, it absorbs the water, and it becomes hard because of the nature of this water molecules around the surface of the soil, which makes it little colloidal in nature, but when it dries it becomes very hard. So this soil is also appears, though it is in black color, it also found in reddish brown color. It is because of the presence of iron oxide which is present in the soil. This is the benefits of clay soil. And then the another soil that is highly useful, it is found to be this red soil. This soil, though it appears to be very fertile, but doesn't hold good for growing plants. It is mostly found in the moist climatic areas, especially in the temperate and deciduous forest. And in this soil, it is highly porous, it has a very good drainage capacity, and it has a large amount of lime mixed in it. That is a chemical composition, and it is found to be highly acidic in nature. So this makes the soil not very fit for growing plants. So here we have presented about a few samples of soil and of rocks. So let us all, with one hand, if we strive our best, we can save this earth. So let us protect the earth, protect our soil, and let us save the earth. Thank you.
எங்க குத்து மண்ணு காணமே all the samples you brought குத்து மண்ணு காணமே பெரிய ஜியாலஜிஸ்ட் சொல்லிருக்காங்க குத்து மண்ணு ஒண்ணு இருக்கு சரி come here so வீடியோ தான எடுக்கறீங்க ஐஸ் ஃபாதர் so this is the presentation of our geologists. Really I like the way they did the research. Subject which was not taught by me, not dealt by me elaborately. They did a beautiful job of. I was very impressed about their presentation of the soil and the rocks. Actually, that rock is an igneous rock, correct? That is made out of lava. I mean, the date may be different, not 3,500, it may be a few million years old. But sometimes also 3,500 years ago also you can make a rock, but it will not form a rock like this. It takes longer time, but good. But that is the sedimentary rock, what the sister was narrating. That is the formation under the water. And then that is the rock people say growing. Not other rocks. People say no, rocks grow. Sedimentary rock, they grow. They start off small and then big boulders. Because of the sediment, the water brings all the particles and deposits through the process called cementation. That's how the rock is being formed. Only one other rock, metamorphic rock, you didn't bring it. Metamorphic rock is nothing but, see there, that is the metamorphic rock. That is the, what do they call it? Not tiles. Granite. Granite, marble, silt, shale, all those things are metamorphic. Metamorphic rock is not a separate rock. It can be a igneous, it can be a sedimentary, and they go deep inside. Pressure and heat transforms that rock into another chemicals which get the grains. You know the grains there? So in the heat and pressure transforms that karuppu rock into beautiful. Again, any person can be transformed. It depends on where you are. Where you are. That is the lesson we learned from those rocks themselves. You know, those rocks allow themselves to be transformed and they adapt. All this soil comes from the rocks. That is the news. Without soil there is no life. Without rocks there is no soil. Everything comes. It's called weathering of the rock. That is the word. Weathering of the rock is the formation of the soil. Who makes soil? Rain makes soil, wind makes soil, and ants. They were talking about ants. You think ants is summa inga suthikittu irukku. You go there and watch how they make soil. They go millions of times on the rock and they bring rock, they make soil. And we go and steal them and make a brick out of them. Small creatures. And also the roots of the plants, you know. Every root of the plant you see there, they go inside the rock and break the rock and make soil. So in silent observing, you really understand what these are all ecosystem free services. Provisioning services, regulating services, supporting services, cultural services. I've been talking about the free services. So this is what soil, it is a blessing. Jesus was completely in love with soil. Parables. How many parables he talked about? The parable of the sower. He was in geology. He was a geologist. 40 days in the wilderness means what was there? Animals and rocks. So he was wondering about all the rocks and stones and soil and everything. It was beautiful for him. And he never saw them as something different from him. And we all come from there. Our bodies is made up of this geology. You think you are disconnected? Directly connected to all this soil. And also the soil, the way you put it, nice, loamy, sandy, and silt, and especially, it was beautifully, you have done a really nice research on this geology, and I liked the whole stuff. Very, very credible stuff you brought it. So I would say these are blessings. That's it. All of them should be seen as blessings. The stones are not something material. They are beings. That's how you should see. Beings. It is the abiotic world. We think there is no life there, but I see there is. You may not consider as a life what we understand, but it's a being. It can be called abiotic means beings. Biotic means beings. But here you are breathing. They can also have their own breathing we don't understand. Humbly we should accept its ignorance of humans that we don't know what they are. So that's why Shakespeare put it so beautifully. Sermons and stones. See how nicely he wrote? Sermons in stones. In other words, they got wisdom. That's why Jesus was sitting on the stone, touching on the stone, and looking at the stone. And that's why he denied not to abuse those stones when the devil was tempting. Make them bread. Let us make some business out of it. So Jesus found relationship with them. So how you relate with this abiotic world, there comes a big difference. That is the birth of your new consciousness. That is where we are trying to deliberate the whole 4 days. How to relate with the insensible and abiotic world. Because that is the base for all this. All this. All this, that is the base. Everything came from the abiotic world, from the soil. So today you ask soil, it will give you everything. Everything, whatever is the cross, soil gave you. The dress, what you're wearing, soil gave you. Your what? Soil gave you. You ask anything, who gave you? Who gave you? Nobody else. Only soil gave you. You yourself, soil gave you. At last, everything was there. It's going to reclaim. Come back. Everything is mine. Give it to me. So you give back. That's it. That's the beginning. And the end of life is soil. Another puts it so beautifully well. வீடு வரை உறவு, வீதி வரை மனைவி,
காடு வரை பிள்ளை, கடைசி வரை யாரோ.
Kannadasan was atheist. So he could stop there only because only us we go little deeper. கடைசி வரைக்கும் யாரோ கண்ணதாசா மண் தான் கடைசி வரை. கண்ணதாசன் இந்த பாயிண்ட் கொண்டு வந்து கடைசி வரைக்கும் மண்ணு தாங்க அது முடிச்சிருந்தா the poem is completely யாரும் சொல்ல வேண்டியது நமக்கு நல்லா தெரியுது கடைசி வரைக்கும் நம்ம மண்ணு தான். Very good presentation. Thank you.
எடுத்த உண்மை.